Welcome everybody to Digital for Everyone, a weekly live series that helps demystify the digital world to make it accessible to everyone, even you. I'm your host Robert Gannes, and with us this week we have Sophie White. She's a social media manager that wants to talk to us today about the digital storefront, an often overlooked aspect, but a very important aspect of your digital presence. So let's give everybody a few minutes to join in. Welcome. How's everybody doing this week? Letting you guys filter in a little bit. Well, while you guys are joining, I'm going to tell you a bit about Sophie. So, Sophie has a background in film, content creation, and on-camera hosting. She took her experiences with organizations such as Scorch Magazine and First Media to offer social media content creation and overall management for small to medium-sized businesses as a freelancer. She specializes in businesses that mesh with her foundational philosophies of show the product and give great service. She actively works with organizations so that they can learn and, in time, competently take on as many aspects of their social media offerings to best serve those philosophies. Welcome everybody. Reed, Manda, and Sophie's just joined in, so let's get her in there. You'll notice I'm in a new environment today, trying things out. Hopefully it's a little quieter. JB Branding. Hello, Sophie.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing all right, man. I've had
Nice.
quite a day. How about yourself?
Not too bad, not too bad. I'm on vacation, but I'm putting in more work than my regular work days, so that's no fun. But we are here.
Freelance life, folks. I don't think I've been on vacation in 5 years.
Oh, that is...
Yeah, not a real one. Like, let's
okay.
You know?
Yeah. Welcome, Crayon Box Code, JB Branding. Let's see who else has just jumped in here.
Hi, Soini.
Stoini, Hyundai drivers to Shell, Scarlet Connect, Redesign, Sadiqa, Kadina. As always, Amanda, very Reed, vacation. Yeah. What's that? Yes, definitely. So, Sophie, I was introducing you before, but let me do it again.
No,
Sophie White.
I got the tail end of it. You're good.
Okay. So Sophie's here to talk to us about. I mean, I really abridged her explanation, but the digital storefront. You know, so I'm gonna hand it over to you. You run the show. Okay?
Well, I was thinking about it just now that there are so many businesses on Facebook and on Instagram and taking part in LinkedIn right now.
Yes.
But some of them are not understanding that while it is a wonderful advertising medium, we know this, it is inherently simply an extension of your physical business. So, of course, those of you who have online-only businesses, I honestly don't think I'll be speaking to you because you'll deeply understand what we're talking about. And I also want to point out that very often the people who are failing at extending the same kind of service they would extend from a retail location tend to be the larger ones. You know, you would think that the small man who's operating a one-room business somewhere wouldn't have the time to respond to people online, but that's not the trend we so often see. Instead, the one-man show is on it and responding and hungry, but the larger an organization gets, sometimes they run away from finding the processes or the person or people required to be responsive to their clients and potential clients on social media. Okay.
So I think I've definitely run into it. I've seen you go online and well-established businesses, you send them a message and say, hey, I need to know X. A day goes by, 3 days go by, 3 weeks go by, and then you get a call, hey, we got a message from so-and-so. And it's like, yeah, but that was 2 months ago, I've moved on. So is that the core of it, or is there more that we're talking about here?
Well, there's definitely more, but can we be very clear about that
Right.
very point? Not only do you need to have a well laid out about section, for example, on Facebook. Yes, people are still going to ask you where are you located when you have your address. That's okay. Okay,
Yeah.
don't get upset at that kind of thing. But please make sure you do have all of that information there first of all, and that you respond to your inbox.
Mm-hmm.
And please pay attention to comments and be responsive there as well.
Right.
I know some people get scared when I talk about that because it seems like a massive undertaking, but it is so worth it. Now, this is also partly because if you're not being responsive to your inbox and comments, you are potentially missing insight into your business practices that you need.
Okay.
Inbox and comments are where people will go to complain. Yes, social media can be a very negative place. I know people are more likely to jump up and inform you when something is going wrong than had a good experience. And that's part and parcel. And you need to put on your big boy pants, understand that that's a reality, and move forward anyway.
Right.
But when somebody hops on a comment to say that they had an awful experience at your store today, that they get good customer service over the phone from your rep, you needed that information.
Right.
I want to point out that deleting negative comments
is
very rarely the way. Okay.
Okay.
You get a negative comment. There are three situations in which I advocate for deleting. But all
right. Let's hear them.
One is straight up spam. When
fair enough. Yeah.
For example, Arabic lettering, and you don't know what this is. Obviously, not apply to people for whom Arabic lettering is relevant, but you feel me. Feel free to read that. Spam, no, absolutely. Use of bad language.
Okay.
If your page and business is one that encourages the use of colorful language, this does not apply to you, but I safely say 100% of my clients.
Definitely, yeah. So everybody except for Bite Me Bistro needs to follow that second one.
See what I was thinking
of. Okay, good.
And it goes right back to what I'm talking about of an extension of your storefront. If somebody walked into your store and started cursing loudly, you would probably eject them from the store.
Yeah, you'd ask them to leave,
This is not divorced from the original philosophy, so bad language. However, have in many cases, when I've gone to delete a comment, I first replied to their inbox and said, you made such a great point, but I have to delete it because we have this policy. Would you go back
language
again? I've totally done that.
Okay.
Third is blatant self-promotion unrelated to what your post is.
Okay, right. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. Okay. So more like spam as well, but it's just that's slightly more specifically.
Yeah, and I feel for those people who are trying to, push their hustle, but sorry, this is not relevant to my page. Most of the rest of negative comments, your response to that's going to be visible to everyone is your chance. It's really an opportunity to show who you are. There are few times when I've chosen to delete when there wasn't a way for me to come back and say, no, this is actually our business philosophy. And I almost always, 99% of the time, start with a thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for taking the time to let us know this directly. And
definitely.
Talk about it behind our back with your friends.
So one quick thing. So Hyundai drives to Shell saying that she completely agrees the importance of response time is crucial to securing business because people move on so quickly. The competition is fierce, especially in my industry, which is car sales. Now, she actually brings up a point that I wanted to ask you. What would you say is time frame? Like what? I know it's different for every business. You may expect
something. Yes.
Right. So talk to me. What would you suggest to general people? How soon should you respond to people?
Ideally, you would want within an hour of somebody's comment. That's okay. But I know that that's going to intimidate some people and they're just going to back away into the bushes like Homer Simpson. So, folks, in a high pressure sales environment like she was describing, you want to be as instantaneous as possible and you want to be within that hour time frame. However, within 24 hours is perfectly acceptable for the majority of businesses.
Okay.
That you probably should have a system set up whereby you have a time each day. Yes, you may be more responsive during the day if a message comes to your attention and you're able to, on the phone, respond. Wonderful. But if you have that process where you know at a certain time every day you're going to go and make a check, you're always going to be within that 24-hour window.
Okay.
Somebody to whom processes like that don't come easily, well, that's when you may need to be looking into working with somebody like me.
Well, we were talking about shameless self-promotion again. I'm gonna. Gotcha.
Yeah.
So, all right, we covered. You want to have make sure you have access to the basic information, right? So
Yes.
you're everywhere as an information desk. Make your social media presence no different. Have all your basic information, and then don't delete comments. So people are here giving you feedback and stuff like that. So what's next? So this is your storefront. You're treating it just like another outlet of your store. What's next?
Well, everybody who's walking up to, that's basically what it is. Everybody's walking up and engaging with you. When they walk up to your store, who do they engage with? Why isn't that person the one who's responding?
Okay.
In your social media sphere? And people are often very like, wait, what? When I present that to them. But
right.
if you're not going to trust your actual storefront person
right.
with your online communication, why are you trusting them with any communication at all?
With your in-person communication, yeah.
Right? So
right. Gotcha.
This has yielded on one occasion a client, well, she didn't become a client, anyway, giving her storefront person more training, making her realize, you know what, maybe I'm doing this wrong. So
fair enough, yeah.
If the reason your storefront person is not going to become your social media person, it's usually because they're far too busy.
Okay, yeah, I can see that, yeah.
Because they're fully engaged. If that person isn't answering the phone, for example, if another person, sometimes it's that person.
Right, okay.
Who becomes, because there's this idea that when you engage with the services of a social media manager, you hand everything over. And that's
yes, that's true.
I believe there should be partnership. We're already used to the brand manager and the advertising agency and everybody's working together.
Right.
So the concept that there are shared responsibilities and that depending on the person, the product, the organization, it may be a different person doing different jobs isn't completely alien.
Right.
So when it comes to answering inbox questions, there are some businesses that have 5 questions on repeat. But there are others, especially the more retail you get, that need to have a knowledgeable in-store person answering. And the social media manager is never going to be that person.
Definitely. I hear you.
So you've got to get in with that individual organization and figure it out. And as much as possible, be in their team, doing what's best for them and not necessarily what's for you and your business as a social media manager. Right.
So before we go on, the Crayon Box company says we have Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, email, WhatsApp. It's so much to check. Sometimes we're late in responding. Just off the top, do you have any tools that you would recommend, that kind of aggregate these things? I'm not familiar with any. I've worked, but at least for messaging.
I really don't.
It's just put in the effort.
Yeah, no, sorry. I wish I had a key for you. I think that if you are on all of those platforms, it may be a good idea, and the size of the organization might make this more or less plausible, have fewer people assigned per. I do have a particular client for whom we have a running reference sheet that we've saved in Google Docs so that answers to certain things are uniform.
Your FAQs, right?
Yes, exactly.
One point I want to make to Crayon Box, Scotiabank, I realized I had a complaint and they actually pushed all of their customer service to Twitter. So they all of their responses basically tell you go to Twitter and you'll get a customer service response. So that's one way, if you want to streamline it like that. Ian Reed is actually shouting out that they work with chatbots. I mean, we had a talk about that a couple of weeks ago, and that's another option as well. Using the same FAQs that Sophie is talking about, and just kind of implementing them so that your regular questions, what time you open, what time you close, that sort of stuff, you don't need to spend your time doing that. But we can get into that. You can go and look at the other videos and stuff like that. But yes.
The number one question in inboxes for almost every client is, are you hiring right now?
Well, right. And having a default, send it to our HR person or whatever, correct, saves you, hundreds of hours over the, yeah. So for the people who are selling products, right? What do you have to say about, what's your thought about that? Because in a showroom, I can go and see it, but online, talk to me.
Well, I think that a lot of people have the idea that using this amazing photography, using the stock imagery that comes from their suppliers, that's the best way to go. And some of that stuff is a really great addition to your timeline and the way that you're displaying things. But I warn against doing that exclusively. I encourage as much as possible with the resources we now have with our smartphones. It is not out of your reach, no matter how small your organization is, to take photos of your stock in your store. Give people that vibe. That way, when they're in the store, then you're going to take away the possibility that they're going to go, this is not what I was thinking at all. Bad impression. Or less likely to buy.
Right. Okay.
Advocate, show the real product and show it in your real space. Okay.
I mean, I think I definitely hear you. I think there's certain things that, if without context of like other things that I know what the size of a regular thing is. So now I understand the size and shape of this product maybe. And then, yeah, you're right. The vibe of the place. If I see all of your stuff is well curated from your supplier internationally, and I come here and it's like a back room, managing the expectations. Okay.
There's one we have where it's a store that sells furnishings, and they have problems every time we use a foreign stock photo from their supplier, because though it is in a wonderful context with a beautiful room, the couch is
well staged.
People want to know what the price of the lamp is and the rug.
Right. And things get...
Yeah, those things are not available. It was just the couch,
Right. Okay, I can see that becoming a problem because you want to stage it, right?
Yes, yeah. I will say, being able to take your own photos of, let's say we could talk about clothing in this context.
Okay.
People who look like us. So beneficial, so fantastic. Yeah. And then featuring, this is so possible for clothing stores in particular, featuring your clothing on customers after they've purchased it.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people do that. It's very Keegan, Sean McIntosh and stuff like that really have a good network of customers who are dedicated, and they will send them pictures and stuff like that. So that's...
And it's a furniture store that has me thinking about this, because we have had clients send us photos of their coffee table and its forever home. And it's so funny.
Nice.
We always get fantastic reactions and engagement.
That's great. That's great. So what about being findable and, credibility and things like that?
Yeah. So making sure you even have these pages, because I have come across this who are like, no, I don't deal up in that at all. We have a long history of so-and-so. And yeah, then something like a worldwide pandemic comes and you find that suddenly you need to get some new revenue streams because that long client has had to close their business completely. Please be poised for the future and understand that SEO is important. And one of the ways you contribute to that is to having your presence on these platforms that will come up on a search page that will make you findable and credible. On top of that, even if you've got a great website, and I fully advocate for that, because all of these platforms that we talk about are not in your full control. They can change the rules anytime they want.
Yeah, it's
And
true.
hey, look at the TikTok conversation. They could even shut down. And then,
Yeah.
what would
Then
happen?
where's your brand if it's only on TikTok? Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. However, if you observe the behavior of Trinidadians these days when they want to find out what time a restaurant closes, they tend to look it up on Facebook.
First thing, yeah, for sure.
Facebook, Instagram, first thing. So please pay attention to that, take it seriously, and be fully present on these platforms.
So you're opening a new store and it's just online. You just need to advocate a little bit of effort there.
I mean, I believe the minimum is better than nothing. But
okay.
It's not actually that hard to do more than the basic minimum, the things that we've discussed so far.
Yeah, it takes, I would say, at a bare minimum, even social media managers who do this full time, it'll take you an hour in the morning, if so much, if you have a lot of messages, and that's across a lot of brands. You know, 15 minutes in the morning, you can cover most of the stuff you missed yesterday. And then 15 minutes in the afternoon, you covered most of your stuff, except and unless it's a massive crisis that you need to be like, oh, I need to call this person and fix this.
Yes, yes.
Most people just want to know, yeah, what time do you close?
Well, since you mentioned the word crisis, we should probably tackle that because it's super important.
Yes, definitely. Especially if you're a pharmacy.
Of businesses in this country who have encountered a crisis.
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can. And in that time, in that moment, when you have to figure out physical things, your business had a violent act committed in it.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
This is possible for every single business. Okay.
Yeah.
You need to get messaging out as wide as possible and as immediate as possible. And there is no better way to do that than social media. There isn't. Not as cheaply and as efficiently.
Okay, fair enough.
You would have to pay quite a lot of money to have all the radio stations playing your message. You'd have to get it produced. No. But you can post to social media. Okay? So you want to be poised, ready, and know that this is where you should turn in that awful situation.
Agreed. I just want to add two things there that I fully agree. The having something prepared, like every business at some point will face some sort of crisis. You know, that's the only guarantee. So having something at least pre-prepared is a good idea, but also, you know, there's a balance between, yes, Sophie, you're right. You know, we need to get this messaging out now, but take the extra effort and have a PR person, have a PR person go through it, because
mistake of putting out the wrong message either.
Yes, definitely.
Which is also why, and it kind of pains me to say this because I appreciate people's hustles, okay? But the people who are out there charging you, $1,200 a month to run your social media pages, are they the ones you want crafting your crisis communication?
That's a fair point, yeah. Yeah.
So please, when you are selecting someone to work with, you need to be examining their language, their command of the English language, your impression of them. And many businesses are only recently finding out that they need to have opinions on social issues at all.
Yeah. Yep.
It's a wake-up call. It's a good idea, guys, to have the discussion with yourself, your management team, and your social media manager as to where your business's position is on a range of things, because this is part of crisis communication.
People will come to you and say, hey, we've noticed you've been really silent on X. What's your, and then you don't want to then be trying to have that board meeting and be like, guys, what is our position on X?
Yeah. You know, as a social media manager, I can think to times when I have had, I'm not going to say massive crises that I've had to handle, but legitimate things that could have snowballed, that could have gotten worse.
Yeah.
And I have never felt as valuable in my job as in those situations where I know I was able to help my client respond
Yeah.
appropriately, respond in a timely fashion, get any needed extra messaging out there. And there have actually been two occasions I can think of, but I probably shouldn't discuss because of confidentiality, where the crisis led to an improvement in the business in the long term.
Well, that's the best case. You know, crisis is a problem in your business, and at the end of the day, fixing it only helps you.
Yeah.
We have a couple questions that are backing up there. The Crayon Box Company, should your business be on TikTok? Hashtag boomer question.
Well, is your customer base on TikTok? I think that's the only answer.
Yeah, I would say I would agree with that 100%. Just there's a little bit of Google searching, which tells you, you know, who's using TikTok, and figure out if that's who you want to talk to. Checkting is saying that, can we hire a mic man so Sophie can tell the business sector all these points, please? I think they're not doing much. I mean, elections is over, so I'm pretty sure you have your run of the the mic man.
Instagram, social media buying.
Exactly. Adri Voice Talent was saying that especially a lot of big or small businesses are already realizing that social media is most effective compares to mainstream media in passing out your product or service. Yeah, as you were saying about crisis communication, people share stuff all the time. You know, if there was, unfortunately, you know, there's a reality we live in Trinidad. If there was a robbery and you need to tell people, listen, we're closed, or, you know, we've done things to make it safer for everybody, all of these are important things that can be shared very easily.
That's
Brentosaurus is saying TikTok is dangerous. Yes, it is. I personally, guys, I have a lot of issues with TikTok's data mining and privacy issues, so I would not recommend it. But by all means, if you want to communicate with people on TikTok, have fun, but just beware of that. All right, so just to recap really quickly, make sure you have, for your digital storefront, you have to remember that this is an extension of your business place. Have your basic information there. When you open, when you close, prices, that sort of stuff, you know, be available to answer questions. As we were saying, you know, anywhere between 1 hour to 24 hours is perfectly reasonable and acceptable.
Yep.
Show the product, not just your the manufacturer's nice, well manicured products, but show them in store. Show them, listen, we have it. It's on the shelf right here. You know, this is what it looks like. Be findable and be credible. You know, you're not always you're always going to be at some sort of awareness level, but you know, make sure you're online. Be there, because the first thing people, especially in the millennials, do is, all right, well, what's their name? Let me look them up on Facebook. And then be ready for crisis communication at any time, because there's always something that could happen, whether...
I have got a client who does not currently have an objective to increase sales. I don't know if anybody else has a client like that. But
well, they must be doing great.
Yeah.
They must be doing fantastic.
However, they came to me because they were aware of the potential need someday for crisis communication. And we know that if we're being discussed at the party and we're not attending the party, we can't respond. And
for sure, definitely.
I'm so grateful for that client's attitude, and it has paid off for them over time.
Great. So we have a few more minutes left. You want to tell us a little bit about your personal philosophy on how you work with clients?
Yeah, sure, because we've touched on it. And I know that I can be a little different than some people in that I am constantly trying not to like push my work on other people, but I'm always trying to find the people in my clients' organizations that I can empower to do more of their social media work. And that is because I have never seen anybody sell their product better than themselves.
Okay, for sure, yeah.
When you hire a social media manager, yes, there are great ones out there, and I am, you know, listing myself there, and I'm on your team. But just was saying how in order to be responsive in an inbox when somebody's asking for a price, I'm going to be picking up the phone and I'm calling Candace, Over time, I'm going to be training Candace to be the one answering instead.
Right.
I do my best to help my clients identify the people within their organization that can do things. It doesn't mean that they're going to take over my job. I'm quite secure in that.
Right.
I'm still providing a range. I'm still adding that layer. If I've got a guy who's taking some of the photos down in a south location, for example, that I'm not really going to be getting to once a week, that's not a threat to me. That's an advantage to their business. I want to work with their team and train them. That's really the core of my philosophy, to empower my clients to do what they can do.
And the goal is essentially, so you're not holding them hostage, so that you may one day be actually able to take a vacation and not have to answer every message.
I have this little dream where I can eventually offer to, you know, the clients who I see, you're ready to fly on your own.
Graduation.
But I do dream that for some people, I would be able to offer a consultancy service instead that is almost like a gym buddy. You know how real people not make it to the gym unless they know who meeting them there.
Yeah.
I be that person that meets with you twice a month to go over your plan, review last month, what are we changing? And for people, and I do actually think that there are new clients, potential clients out there who could use this. The one man that I was describing earlier, handling his or her stuff really well, you could still really benefit from knowing that you have a meeting on the 15th every month where we're going to go through what you were supposed to do. What did you actually do? Why?
What if we managed?
Look at the metrics, because a lot of people don't look at the metrics and make the plan for next month. And now they've got the plan for next month, but they know on the 15th of next month, they're going to be meeting with me again to see if that plan actually happened.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's about setting a goal, giving them the roadmap to reach it, and you've taught them over the time. This is the basics. This, take off the training wheels and time to go.
And I think having an outsider perspective, sometimes activity is it's a B. You need an outside eye to look and say, well, I know you really love this graphic, but you got to admit it's not doing so well.
Yeah. No, for sure. Sophie, I know we could talk for hours again, but this brings us to the end of Digital for Everyone. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and experience with us. Guys, subscribe. Check us out on YouTube as well. The episode is going to be posted right after this, so if you missed it or if you came in late, you can always check it out. Sophie, thank you again, and as always, see you guys every Thursday.
Everybody can listen out for a mic man with my voice soon.
Okay, all right. See you guys. Thank you very much.